Hey, it's Mazzy and welcome back. Breaking news here. But first, do you know what you were doing 50 years ago today? July 11th, 1975. I do because of this announcement of the next Rhino High Fidelity issue. But this time, there's a couple of little variations or options, I should say. But 50 years ago today, the self-titled Fleetwood Mac came out, 9 platinum record. I remember this 50 years ago today because those days I was working in San Francisco at a record store, local record store, and I was a massive Fleetwood Mac fan. Now, interesting thing, up until this record, they had something like 9 or 10 records, depending on how you're counting, depending if you put the Blues Chicago collaboration or the American comp type of things. It all depends, but basically 8, 9, or 10. This is it. And what's great about this series of records, especially after the Blue Horizon series of Peter Green blues things, they signed to Warner Brothers Reprise, and those were the days when Warner Reprise would stick with artists like forever. And I remember my job, or my self-anointed job, was opening the boxes on release day of certain new releases when I love the bands. And I'm a big Fleetwood Mac fan. Go back to the Peter Green period, and of course, all the different guitar players. And we all know that the only constant in this band has been the rhythm section of Mick Fleetwood and John McVie, the bass and drums. And they've gone through guitar players and singers, and they've gone through it all, and they persevered. And this record was their first massive record, but it took like a year and a half before it hit #1. Those are the days when record labels would work at various singles and things. But I would open these records up when the boxes came in, those boxes of 25 LPs, starting in 1973 with Penguin. And then, of course, Mystery to Me, which got a lot of FM play, and Hypnotize was kind of the closest they had for a while to a hit. And then, of course, 1974, Heroes Are Hard to Find, with that great lyric by Bob Welch: if I could sing like Paul McCartney, get funky like Etta James, I'd never change. What a great friggin' lyric. And I remember literally, and this is honest truth, opening the box and seeing this. And I love the cover right away. I didn't know anything about Buckingham Nicks. I don't think I had heard that Polydor record of them. But obviously, I look on the back, and where's Bob Welch? It's a different band. They become more of a California band. Not that Bob Welch wasn't the American in the band prior to this, but a whole different sound, more of a West Coast sound with this album. And as soon as I put this album on with the song Monday Morning, you got that great rhythm, drum, bass thing. It goes, and it pulls you in. We played this record a lot in the store. And the thing about those days was it wasn't this massive hit, but we all loved this record. It was really a wonderful record. And we know, obviously, after this, how big they became. And of course, Rumors and Tusk and the whole history, sordid history of Fleetwood Mac recording after this in Sausalito at the record plant. But Rhino High Fidelity coming out, I believe it's August 8th. Now, there's various configurations, and not only is this coming out as a Kevin Gray all-analog cut audiophile, there's also a separate, not combined, Blu-ray edition with a brand new Atmos mix, surround, for those of you who are into the digital Blu-ray world, and a 5.1 option. So that's kind of cool. So a big deal here. 50 years ago, I remember opening this up, and now we're getting this as a Rhino Hi-Fi Kevin Gray cut. Now, this time, in addition to the Rhino Hi-Fi, those 5,000 LP number LPs, there's a separate 2,000 LPs. Now, I don't know if these are numbered, but there are 2,000 LPs that contain 2 bonus 7-inch 45 singles. And these singles have separate mixes. The single mixes of Over My Head, backed with Rhiannon, massive hit, obviously, and Say You Love Me, backed with Blue Letter. I don't have the prices here yet, so you can go to the Rhino site. As of this video being dropped, you can pre-order them at Rhino. I have not heard them. I don't have copies of either the Blu-ray or the Rhino Hi-Fi, but Little Birdie came buzzing around. We all know this is a massive record. I have an original copy on the shelf here from 1975 because I love that record, and I literally couldn't play it for about 30 years. Between that and Hotel California and Rumors and a few others around that period, those records got played so much, so I had to put them aside. But you can't deny the greatness of these records, and I adore this record. In some ways, I like this record better than Rumors. This is my favorite of the two records. Of course, Go Your Own Way is a great song, so how can you deny that? I love how Warner Brothers stuck with this band, and they finally broke after all these releases, year after year, 1 or 2 records a year throughout the 1970s, going back to Bare Trees and Future Games, and then Play On, which is my favorite Fleetwood Mac album, by the way. I think because of the 50th anniversary celebration, that's why the announcement is being made today. And it's a good time for it, 50 years. Ironically, a couple of weeks ago, one of my Lakeside chats, I did a series of 5 records that were 50 years old in June and July, and I included this just 2 weeks ago. So it's coming back around, and I talked about it a little then, and of course, I think it's a wonderful record. And like all the other Rhino Hi-Fis, it'll have the OB included, plus an essay. In this case, the insert in the essay, and I assume the tape box obligatory photograph has an essay by the rock journalist, former Rolling Stone editor and journalist Anthony Curtis, writing about when this album came out. These were the days in 1975 where record companies would work an album, and sometimes more organically, it would build an audience. And they were touring all the time. After this, I think I saw one of the Days on the Green with the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, and Peter Frampton, and one day, one of those massive Oakland shows that Bill Graham put on. So 50 years old, the self-titled, with this brilliant photograph of the drummer Mick Fleetwood, bass player John McVie, the only constant members in the history of Fleetwood Mac, and that's the Rhino Hi-Fi. It's available now, apparently, and hopefully more coming. Apparently there's 3 other titles coming in the Rhino Hi-Fi catalog in August, so we'll see. So that's it. Enjoy the music. Mazzy loves you.